Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, the show for visionary coaches, healers, wellness pros, and small business owners who aren't just here to host another feel-good getaway, but to build a profitable, impactful retreat business. I'm your host, Shannon Jamail, retreat strategist, business mentor, and owner of a 46-acre retreat center. I've hosted over 100 retreats around the world, and I've made every mistake so you don't have to. Each week, we'll dive into the mindset, marketing, money, business, and mechanics behind sold-out, profitable retreats. Plus, hear from expert guests who are walking the talk. Whether you're planning your first retreat or scaling your 100th, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. I have such a special guest on the show today. Welcome, Kim DeMoss, to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, as usual. I love being on the podcast.
I know. And I was sitting here thinking, Kim, earlier, like, how long have we known each other? It's over 10 years.
Because 20, well, I think it's just about 10 years. I think it was
Is it?
2016 when I
Went to
came to
Destin?
your retreats in Destin. Yeah.
Okay, it was 20. I couldn't remember if it was 2015 or 2016. Okay.
One of those.
Okay.
So
Well,
like
we're
10 years.
somewhere within a decade. Kim and I have known each other, and very shortly after we met at one of my retreats, which I love when this happens. It's like the universe lines us up. Kim and I started working together in all different kinds of capacities. And then we started building programs together. And Kim and I have built out a complete YTT program that is absolutely phenomenal. We started building it actually before COVID, and then COVID hit, and we were able to pivot, and it actually worked out even better to do a hybrid model. So we have the hybrid model that Kim totally runs now completely. But anyway, across the board, we've done lots of things together. And one of the things, Kim, I really wanted to focus on today is kind of both sides of the retreat space, from the retreat leader perspective and then also from the support side perspective, because you've done both. And I remember recently a conversation you and I had where you were like, I'm starting to think I like the behind the scenes better than the front of the scenes. And so anyway, tell us first, like, your experience in the retreat space, and then we're going to dive into like the differences and why you might like one over the other.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting when you do both sides of the retreat business. You're like, wait a minute, I think I enjoy this piece a little bit more. Like when you're not hosting and you're just that support piece, you get to kind of like breathe a little bit because there's not as much pressure on you specifically to hold space and to make sure everything flows. And then, if things go wrong, like it's on you. So it is a little bit easier. I will say I do enjoy both. I think I do love supporting a little bit more. Not to say that I don't love hosting retreats, but in my personal opinion, like I know my capacity. So I'm not going to be the kind of retreat host that's going to host a retreat every month or every quarter. I'm a once a year type of girl. Like I can put all forth all my energy and make it amazing this one time, and then I'll support lots of times because I can do that. I can have the capacity for that because it's not all falling on my shoulders. So I think that's really the biggest difference is being able to like, all right, well, I can outsource that because it's not my problem. It's the retreat host problem, but I'll support you in however you want me to move forward. But
It is a different vibe.
when you're making the decisions, you have to make the decisions.
It is a different vibe. So, some back history here too. Kim actually was the first person to host a retreat at Retreat Ranch. Like,
Yes.
she literally was the first host ever from when we opened our doors.
It was
And
awesome.
it was so cool. I sit back there now, though, Kim, and I think about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, we had like 3 accommodations and like a yoga deck, like when we first, we had a dining hall too. But like compared to what we have now, we had very minimal when we first opened. But even in that capacity, like you learn from both sides. You learn from the hosting side, you learn from the support side. But I remember at the end of that retreat, even you were like, I'm exhausted because you do put
Yeah.
so much into it. So talk to us a little bit about why you think it's like the one and done a year, because you're still hosting retreats. Like you're still
Yes.
doing them. You're doing the YTT retreat every year. And so talk to us about like, just tell me like why? Why just the one?
Well, I think it's a personal choice for me, and that comes down to what's going on in my personal life too. So I know now, like when I did that retreat with you, that very first retreat, my husband was deployed. Like
Mm. I
He was
know.
overseas. I think he was in Kenya at the time. And so I didn't have the capacity to be hosting that retreat. Now, we had planned it and then he got the deployment order. So it's not something like, oh, I should have planned it differently. That was just
Right.
how life was unfolding. And I think what I learned a lot from that lesson, and even recently the YTT retreat I did that I loved hosting, and I was like, this is it. This is where my focus is going to be. But what's going on in your personal life also matters. So if you're in a space or in a season where it's just overwhelming and you've got a lot of things like you're caring for aging parents or you've got young kids or your spouse travels, like all of that, it comes into play when you're
Yeah.
hosting a retreat or planning retreats. So for me, I have to I had to like take a step back and be like, no, I know I'm good at this and people love it, but also it's burning me out. So I have to find a time, find a space, and find like, I don't want to say balance because I don't know that there's ever truly a balance, but find what works.
Okay, so this reminds me so much of my private mental health practice that I had. So here I go get my master's, spend a fucking fortune on a master's degree, go through my internship, go through residency, go through everything, and then I'm like, I don't fucking like this. I'm good at it. Like I am. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a great therapist. It is too much for me to hold. Like there's my personal boundaries, me as a person, my personality, life, seasons, I don't care whatever it was. It was like, "Oh my. Okay, so this isn't it." And so you look at that and you're like, "Okay, what does that mean?" For some people that they might go, "Oh, well, you spent all that time and money or you did all these things." And it's like, "Yeah, but now I took that learning and I apply it in my retreats. I applied in my everyday stuff." So I feel like the same thing for you, Kim. You worked really hard for many years building an incredible event retreat business that also had some additional support tools with it. And you're very good at it. But you also realize, I don't know if I love it as much as the building and the logistics and the support that you've now learned. And now you use that for our business, for Retreat Ranch, for some administrative stuff, and still for your stuff and however else you want this to grow. But like everything that you learn through that, you still get to use.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But with less pressure,
With less
like
pressure.
with less pressure to, and I don't know. And I guess it's maybe an ego thing too, where you're like, I know I can do it. And, or like, I've said I was going to do this. And then you navigate and pivot and change. And like, what is everybody going to think? Or, if I stop doing this, like, what's going to happen? Like, I think there comes a point where you have to, and I think you taught me this, Shannon, like, you have to be okay with disappointing people to not disappoint yourself.
Yes.
Hard. That is hard. That's hard as women, mothers, like humans. Like it's a hard concept.
Hey guys, Shannon cutting in here real quick. Listen, the Retreat Industry Forum is happening May 14th through 17th in Denver, Colorado, and it's not your average feel good conference. This is where bold retreat leaders, venue owners, industry pros, small business entrepreneurs come together to disrupt, challenge, and advance what's possible in our industry. You'll get cutting edge strategy, real world business tools, and high level conversations about profitability, innovation, and sustainability without the fluff or kumbaya. Join myself, my friend Erin and Allison, along with other powerhouse leaders for 3 immersive days of connection, collaboration, and serious business growth, plus an exclusive VIP experience for those ready to go even deeper. Get all the details and grab your ticket now at retreatindustryforum.com. This isn't just another event, you guys. It's the movement that's reshaping the future of the retreat world. It is. It is a hard concept. And it's also, I think, really hard to listen to that voice, especially when you're good at something, right? Like to listen to that voice, because I've seen you hold space at retreats and you fucking kill it. But I also see on the back end how stressful it can be for you and how your life, with your husband's just his career in the military and then surprise kids that come along and just life, and how much you're having to give in different areas of your life. And so I'm so like, I really wanted to have you on the show because I'm so proud that you made the choice. And it could change in 5 years. It could change in 1 year. I mean, it could change, right? This is the choice that you've made today where it's like, I'm going to do my one retreat a year and I'm going to support the rest of the time. And I think there's some incredible value to all of that. By the way, too, there's something nice about getting like a set paycheck. where you're just like, I know that there's going to be funds coming in and it's not relying upon how much marketing and selling I've done. Because that can
Yes.
also be exhausting depending on the season that you're in.
Oh,
And
it really is. It's so much work. It's so much work to make sure that you're posting all the time and you're marketing your retreat and you're doing blog posts and truthfully, like I'm still learning that for my own business and how I show up in that space. The the support stuff, guess what? I'm also really good at that. So like I enjoy all these different pieces and I think it's leaning into, like you said, like a steady paycheck where I'm working with people that I love and I'm good at what I'm doing and I'm finding value in different ways. So it's just like being okay with that shift and making that navigational shift if you want to or if you need to.
yeah, so I love that you said that. I think too, especially the marketing and sales piece, because as you know, just being in our business together, like the shit's changing big time. 10
Yeah.
years ago when we met, I literally could spend a couple $100 on Facebook and people would find me and come attend my retreat.
Yeah, that's how
If
I found you.
I mean, yeah, it was honest to God that simple. And it is so far from simple today. And some of it is because there's a lot more people in the space, which by the way, I love. Some of it is just because of the access of information. Some of it is that it's so fucking busy, right? Busy as far as like the
Yeah.
platforms and what's being thrown at us and the digital world. And now it's even more challenging because how people searching is different. It's not SEO anymore, it's AI. It's AI plus SEO. How people are finding you is different. How people are booking you is different. Like everything is changing again, which I'm here for. I love learning and growing. But if that's not your thing, if your thing is not to want to be on your computer or at least knowing what's having to be done and doing it consistently over and over and over every day, and I'm seeing it more and more, Kim, where it's like, I don't want to be doing this shit. I don't want to be on social media every day. I don't want to be on this every day. I don't want to, then, then consider there might be different ways that you could support this retreat industry if you still have a heart in it.
Right. Yeah. No, I 1000% agree. And that's even something that I have thrown around and considered myself. Like the YTT retreat, I love because I love teaching and guiding and our students are amazing. But then you're right. Again, it's like, okay, well, this is coming up every year. You can't just take a break, Like you don't get a break. You have to continue to keep working and keep sharing and putting it on all the different platforms. And so it's always work. And so if you're not willing to do the work or it doesn't fit in your season or space, then it's time to like have a heart to heart with yourself and
Yes.
make a decision. Like
Yeah.
where do you want to go? Because it's not serving you or your people either. If you're just kind of like, well, I'm gonna halfway do it, you're not gonna get the right people. And I learned that lesson too at that first retreat. I was like,
Hmm.
man, I learned a lot about marketing and what I should do and shouldn't do at that first retreat where I was like, wow, I attracted some people that I do not want in my space. Like,
Yes. I remember
uh,
that. I remember afterwards the conversations about it too.
right? And so, I mean, I think everything we do, we're constantly learning, but not being afraid to navigate or pivot when you need to.
Yeah, when you hear that voice inside you, and sometimes that voice is like all of a sudden the universe will solidify that voice. Like when this last retreat you held here at Retreat Ranch, and I sat down and I was like, "So Kim," because here's the thing, like I know my Kim, and those of you may not know her if you haven't attended a retreat. She is seriously one of the best retreat leaders I have ever had the pleasure of working with or having come in contact with. But one of the reasons why she's such a good retreat leader is she is so fucking organized and disciplined and the attention to detail, holy mother effer. Like I've never met anyone like you, Kim. And so in my brain, after your retreat, I was like, so I'm wondering if you want to maybe in between things work with me and Nathan. And it was funny because your face was like, hold on, wait a minute. So it was
Right? I
almost like
know.
a voice must have been talking to you about not doing as many retreats. And then all of a sudden I'm
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
what do you think about this?
I mean, it's so true. And I think that, and before we even had that conversation, I knew I was like, this is it. Like, this is where I need to be focused. Like, strictly YTT because I love creating. And you know
Hmm.
that. Like, I
Yes.
love putting courses together. I love creating graphics and manuals and like the creative piece of it. I love creating. So I would find myself getting caught up in the creative stuff. I'm like, what else can I do? What else can I add? But then like following through on the sales piece of it and the marketing piece of it, like I didn't love that as much. So I'm like, I would constantly just find myself, well, let me create this course, let me create this program, or let me do this. And I'm like, no, Kim, just focus, like one thing. Let's pick one lane, stay here, be good at this one track, and then support where I can be, where I can, because I am good at that. So.
I think that's what makes it hard, Kim, is because you're good at everything that you
Oh,
do.
I mean, what a gift. No, I'm just kidding.
It really is, though. And that, I mean, that's both, that can be such a gift, but also can be really difficult because it's like, okay, well, if you're good at all these different things, then you tend to try to do all the different things
Yes.
versus like, I love that for you, you said in this season of life, while Jason's going through transitioning out of the military into retirement, you've moved your family to a new location. You've got all these things that you're juggling in your personal life, as many of us do, but I would assume I've not ever been there, but military life is just a whole different fucking beast. That it's like this is great right now. I get to still scratch my creative spot, my logistics, my attention to detail, working in the retreat space and even the event space as Nathan does events. Like working in the space, I still get to scratch all those scratches, but I don't have to worry about if it fills up and I don't have to worry about if something goes south or I don't have to worry about somebody being mad at whatever, like all those other pieces to it and the marketing and the sales and all that. Like you literally get to do the fun stuff.
Yeah.
That's fun for you. And I just
Yes.
fucking love that.
Yeah. I mean, it makes such a big difference. And I think I even told you that like the first week I was like jumped in with you guys. I was like, I love this, like I'm so excited. Because it's just something that like you like, I don't know, when someone else gives you a task and you're like, all right, I got this. And then you can check it off and move on to the next task. It's not me having to think of where do I need to go next or how do where can I reach out to? I'm not saying like our YTT program is amazing and it
Hmm.
runs effectively, smoothly, like all of that, those logistic things have been worked out. So that kind of somewhat in and of itself like runs itself aside from like the support piece. And that's easy for me to navigate right now, because you're right. Transitioning from active military to my husband retiring, holy heck, it has been a ride. Like it's been a ride. And even just yesterday, I think it was like for Veterans Day, someone was like, "Oh, well, be patient with your husband." Took me 4 years, and I was like, "I don't have 4 years to adjust. Like, can we be done? Can we be done adjusting yet?" Like, I'm like, "Let's go." I'm not as
You're like,
patient.
I've been adjusting my whole entire life with
My
him. We've
whole life we've
adjusted
been
all over the
adjusting.
place.
Yeah, I was like, no, no, I'm too impatient to wait that long to adjust. But it is an adjustment, and I think if we're not giving grace to ourselves and the people around us that we love, but also just like putting yourself in the spaces with the people and the energy that you want to become, I think that's
Yeah.
part of the reason I was like, heck yeah, I'm gonna work with you guys because I want to like step up. You know what I mean? Like, let me
Yeah.
just step up a level.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you're still like I in this space, even though you are like an incredible human being, you're still learning and that's still going to contribute to your future growth, whatever you decide to do long term. Don't get me wrong, I would steal you and keep you forever. So please know that that is an option forever and ever and ever.
Forever and ever.
Forever and ever. We
Teleport me
will
from
build a house
Florida
for
to
you on the
Texas.
ranch. So come on. when your girls when your girls graduate, come on over.
Like
We will build
we're going.
we'll build you a cabin. Jason could probably build a way better cabin than we could build, but anyway. But you're learning still, and you're growing, and you're being challenged, and we're still going to involve you in events and trainings and retreats as much as possible. The one last thing I do want to touch on too, because you've mentioned like you're still planning to do your YTT retreat. I think also one of the things you and I talked about is a training retreat is also a different vibe from
Oh yeah.
a healing, wellness, growth, a different type of personal growth retreat. Is there personal growth in YTT? Yes. But the training of the YTT, that actual retreat aspect is different. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, you're so right. And I think that's why I enjoy it so much is because everybody is there for the same common purpose. So like in like a healing type of retreat or an open like format type of retreat, if it's just like yoga or wellness or whatever, there can be a lot of different people there for different reasons. For a YTT retreat or a training retreat of any kind, they are there for training. Like there's one specific goal in mind. And you're right, things happen. I mean, especially in yoga, you're working your body in different positions. You're doing a heck of a lot of yoga, so you're gonna be sore as heck too. but you're learning and you're growing with people that are there for that very specific reason. That does take some of the pressure off. Like I don't have to plan all of these different events for all of these different people and their personalities. Like this is it. Like you're coming for training. We're gonna do training, we're gonna do practice. We'll have community and involvement, but it's a lot different vibe when you're training for a specific purpose
Yeah,
versus
I
just
totally
like
agree.
a relaxation, it's a different feeling.
It is. I've been involved obviously in the YTT with you and then also our equine yoga training, and it's a completely different vibe than any other type of retreat. It just
And it
is.
can be harder, truthfully. I remember like our very first YTT retreat, we about killed ourselves. Like we just like went
The
nonstop,
number of
go,
hours.
go, 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 go. And we said never again. Like we're not
Yeah.
doing that
We're going
again.
to restructure that fucking schedule because that was brutal.
Right?
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
just wild because we gave ourselves like an hour break in the whole day and like we didn't want to get off your couch. Like we're
Right. We're like, is there any kind of smut TV we can watch for an hour before we go back out?
like, why did we do this to ourselves, you know? And so, I mean, that's something I definitely, if you're planning a training style retreat, you have to give space for reflection, for just like downtime so that they can kind of like process everything that you're
Integration.
doing
Yeah.
too. But then you as a leader get a minute to breathe
Yeah.
because I mean, when you're hosting a retreat, you don't get time to breathe. But when you schedule that downtime, you're like, all right, well, I don't have to worry as much because I know that I have this block of time where I can pick up on other small details or I can prep for later or tomorrow or whatever, or just
Yeah.
take a nap.
Or take a damn nap. I love
Yeah.
this so much. Well, Kim, I am so glad that you followed your heart and your intuition and the universe. We absolutely fucking love having you on the team. You are just, I'm just a beautiful human, but also an incredible human in any space you decide to put yourself in. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Loved being here. Love you guys.
I love you too, babe. Thanks for tuning in to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. If you love this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your retreat besties. Want more support? Grab free resources at theretreatleadersplaybook.com. Until next time, lead boldly, serve deeply, and retreat profitably.